Okay, hi guys, this is June 2022 2H. So here's some integers, A, B, C, D, D, D. And it says here, obviously, A is the smallest, D is the biggest. The mode of the integers is 9. Okay, so straight away, guys, D has to be 9. This is 9, 9, 9, because there's 3 Ds. The median is 8. So if the median is 8, that means here is 8, right in the middle there. So that's 8, which means this number has to be 7 because it's between these two. The range of the integers is 4, so 9 minus 5 is 4, so this has to be 5 because the range is biggest minus smallest. And then it says the mode of the integers. Okay, well, B has to be 6, guys, because it's bigger than 5 and less than 7. So, and it's not 5 or 7, so it has to be 6. Okay, so it's 5, 6, 7, and 9. A is 5, B is 6, C is 7, and D is 9. Okay, that's question 1. Question 2. On the grid, draw and label with its equation the straight line with equation y equals 1. Okay, for y equals 1, we go to y equal 1, and we draw a line across like this. This is y equals 1. X equals 2. Go to x equals 2 and we draw a vertical line. Now some people mix these up, guys. Remember, the y is the horizontal line and the x is the vertical line opposite to what the axes are. And then finally x plus y equals 7. So guys, the quick way to do this without a calculator is you go, okay, because to draw a line I just need any two points and I can draw a line. So with this one I like to say, okay, when x is 0, y equals 7, because this is 0, y equals 7. So when x is 0, y is 7. And when y is 0, gone, x equals 7. So when y is 0, x is 7. So now I have 2 points, 0, 7 there, and 7, 0 there, and then I just join these 2 points, and that's the equation. So guys, it did say to label the equation, so I'm going to call this one is x plus y equals 7, this is y equals 1, this is x equals 2, and those are my 3 equations. If you don't like this kind of fancy way of doing it here, guys, you can just rearrange this into y equals 7 minus x, or minus x plus 7, and then you can use your calculator with the table to get some points, and then you can draw it that way, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, then he says, by showing the region that satisfies all 3 inequalities, label the region R. Okay, so the region R is going to be y is bigger than 1, so we're going to be above this thing. X is greater than 2, so it's going to be over this way, and x plus y is less than or equal to 7, so it's going to be below this. So it's definitely, guys, going to be this region here, and he says label the region R. So there we go, that's region R. Okay, that's question 2. Okay, question 3. An airplane traveled from New York City to Los Angeles. They traveled at a distance of this. So this is his distance. In a time of this is his time. Work out the average speed. Okay, so speed is distance over time. We should know that, guys. You should also maybe be familiar with the distance speed times time triangle that looks something like this. Okay, so this distance, and he wants it in kilometers per hour. So I want my distance in kilometers, which it is, and my time in hours, which it isn't actually. So be very careful, guys. This is not 5.24 hours. That would be very wrong. It's actually, we need to do 24 out of 60 because there's 60 minutes. There's 60 minutes in an hour, and 24 out of 60 is, I've done it here, guys, 24 divided by 60, or if you just do 24 over 60, you get 2/5 or 0.4. 0.4. So now my time is actually 5.4 because it's 5 hours and 24 minutes. So this, then we just do 3980 divided by 5.4, which is not 737.037, but he wants it to the nearest whole number, so it's just going to be 737.03, nearest whole number 737. Okay, question 4. Show that this equals this, right? It's pretty standard fractions question, guys. We need to know how to do this, right? Best thing to do, because this fraction is bigger than this fraction, is turn it into an improper fraction. So I'm going to have 3 times 5 is 15 plus 1 is 16. So that's 16 thirds. This times this plus this. Minus 7 times 2 is 14 plus 6 is 20 over 7 equals. Now, I can't use this, guys. That's going to be my answer. I'm going to change it into a common denominator of a denominator common is 21, because 3 times 7 is 21, so they both go into 21. And I know, because they're using 21 here, that's going to be my lowest one. Okay, so 3 times what is 21? Well, it's 3 times 7, so I need to do 16 times 7. Now I can use my calculator here, guys. 16 times 7 is 112. And then 7 times 3 is 21, so 20 times 3 is 60. So it's 112 over 21 minus 60 over 21, which is 52 over 21. Now, how many times does 21 go into 52? Well, it goes in twice, and the remainder is, you guessed it, 10. Hence, we get 10 over 21. And that's what we needed to show. Okay, that's question 4. And question 5. We have an 8-sided shape, A, B, C, D, F, G, H. Okay, these are given. CD is parallel to HG, fine. The area of the shape is this, find the length CD. Okay, we can split this up into different shapes, guys. I think the obvious thing to do, correct me, or you can tell me if this wasn't obvious, but is just to join this here. Now, if this is 28, and this is 5, and this is 5, this has to be 18. Because 18 plus 5 will give me this 28. Okay, and if this is 12, then this length here, the pink length, must be 8, because 8 plus 12 gives me the full 20. Okay, now I've got this, guys. I can just break it up into 2 areas. Area of a rectangle, so the area of the rectangle, that's easy. It is just 28 times 12. That's length times width. 28 times 12 is 28 times 12, 336. And the area of the trapezium, area of the trap, is equal to, now the trapezium, guys, I'm going to call this length here X. That's the length we're trying to find. So the area of the trapezium is, from the formula booklet, X plus 18 divided by 2 times 8, because it's the area of a trapezium is A plus B over 2 times H, where A and B are the 2 parallel sides. So X and 18, we do X plus 18 divided by 2, and then we times it by the height, 18. Okay, now this, guys, I can simplify it into, because 2 into 2 goes once and 2 into 8 goes 4 times, I can simplify this into 4 times X plus 18. Okay, so this is the area of the trapezium and this is the area of the rectangle. Now we know the total area is this, so I can just say 336 plus 4 times X plus 18 is equal to 434, because the area of the rectangle plus the area of the trapezium is the area of the total thing. Okay, and now I just need to solve this equation to find x. So already, guys, this is not an easy paper. These are not easy questions, but anyway, let's go. So I can do 4 times x plus 18 equals 434 minus 336. Let's do that with the calculator. 434 minus 336 is 98. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 4. 98 divided by 4. Does that go in nicely? Well, it's nice enough. 24.5. 24.5. And then x is this minus 18, which is 6.5. And that's correct. 6.5 centimeters. Okay, so for a question 5, guys, not easy. Question 6. Work out the value of x. This is the type of question, guys, everybody should be able to do. There's nothing tricky to it. It's just, do you know your SOHCAHTOA? SOHCAHTOA. So we have the hypotenuse, tick. We want the adjacent, tick. Which has the 2 ticks? Ka. So we're going to use cos. Cos of 42 equals adjacent x over hypotenuse 9.5, and then x is just equal to cos 42 times 9.5, or 9.5 times cos 42. 9.5 times cos 42 is 7.059. 7.059, but he wants it to 1 decimal place, so it's 7.1. X is equal to 7. Guys, I like to put the full thing down first. 7 or more than 1 decimal place. So 059, 7.059, and then here 7.1. Well, it's not centimeters, just 7.1. Okay, question 7. Another speed question. Interesting. Change a speed of 81 kilometers per hour into a speed in meters per second. So 81 kilometers per hour is the same as 81. I want to change it into meters. So I'm going to change this into 81,000 meters per how many seconds in an hour. Maybe you could just know that, guys, but there's 60 minutes times 60 seconds, 3,600. So it's 81,000 meters per 3,600 seconds. So we want how many meters per 1 second. So I'm just going to do 81,000 divided by 3,600, because that will tell me how many meters he does in 1 second. 81,000 divided by 3,600 gives me 22.5, which is correct. 22.5 meters per second. 22.5. Okay, question 8. Benaz makes 300 celebration cards so that this is 75 to 3. Okay, 2/5 of the birthday cards have numbers on them. So number of, okay, fine. 36% of the anniversary cards have numbers on them. None of the congratulations cards have numbers on them. Work out what fraction of the 300 cards have numbers on them. Okay, there's 300 cards, right? Let's first, so I'm going to do birthday, I'm going to call it B. B to anniversary, I'm going to call A. To congratulatory cards, I'm going to call C. So B to A to C is 7 to 5 to 3. Now there's 300 cards, so I'm going to do 7 plus 5 plus 3. 7 plus 5 plus 3 is 15. I'm going to do 300 divided by 15. 300 divided by 15 is 20. And then I'm going to do 7 times 20 is 140. 5 times 20 is 100. And 3 times 20 is 60. So now the ratio of the number of cards is 140 birthday cards, 100 anniversary cards, 60 congratulation cards. Okay, then 2/5 of the birthday cards have numbers on them. So let's do 2/5 of 140 equals 140. You can just do 140 times 2/5 or divided by 5 multiplied by 2, and we get 56. Okay, so that's 56. Then 36% of the anniversary cards, right? This is going to be easy, guys, because it's 36% of 100. And obviously that's just going to be 36 because percentages are out of 100. And there's no congratulatory cards with numbers on them. Fine. So what fraction of the 300 cards have numbers on them? Well, in total, 56 plus 36 is equal to 92. So 92 cards have numbers on them. 92 over 300 is equal to, and guys, you can actually just use your calculator here. 92 over 300 is 23 over 75, and that's it. 23 over 75. That's the fraction of cards with numbers on them. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Question 9. Pasha invests $50,000 in a saving account. He gets 1.3% per year compound interest, and for 4 years. How much money Pasha will have in his savings account at the end of the 4 years? Right, this, guys, is another fairly straightforward question that everyone should be able to do. I multiply by 1.03 to increase it. Sorry, I got that wrong. So maybe not everyone. Sorry, it's 1.3%, which means 1.013, because 1.13 would be 13%. So it's times 1.013. That's for 1 year, but we're going to do it for 4 years. So we do to the power of 4. Okay, so it's 50,000 times 1.013 to the power of 4, which is 52651.14. 52651.14 to the nearest dollar, $52651, and that's it. Okay, that's a nice question. 10. Solve the simultaneous equations. Okay, again, another, not saying this is an easy question, but it's a familiar question. I'm going to times this one by 3. That will give me the y's are the same. So I have 7x plus 3y equals 3. That's the first equation. And then the bottom times 3 will give me 9x minus 3y equals 21. All of them times 3. Put a line underneath. Signs are different, so I add. 9 plus 7 is 16. So 16x equals 21 plus 3 is 24. So 16x is 24. X is 24 divided by 16. 24 divided by 16 is 3.2 or 1.5. Okay, if x is 1.5, then I'm going to sub into either of these equations. I'm going to go equation, sub into equation. I'm just going to go with this one, guys, because it's the smallest numbers. 3 times 1.5, that's my 3x, minus y equals 7. 4.5 minus y equals 7. Whatever way you want to do it here, guys. I'm going to do y to this side, gives me positive y. And 4.5 minus 7 is minus 2.5. Now remember, guys, you can do this with your calculator to check your answers. You do need to show you're working, but use your calculator to check your answers. Okay, question 11. Factorize. X squared plus 5x minus 24. So I'm going to do x and x. I need factors of negative 24. Negative 24. That give me plus 5 when I add them together. Well, it's 1 and 24, no. 2 and 12, no. 3 and 8, yes. 4 and 6, no. It's going to be 3 and 8, right? So we're going to do 3 times 8 gives me 24, and I want plus 8 and minus 3, because minus 3 plus 8 gives me the plus 5. So minus 3 plus 8. And then it says, hence solve this. So once you factorize it, the solutions are just x equals 3 or x equals negative 8. It's the opposite sign of this because it's where x minus 3 equals 0. Okay, that's 11. Question 12. Larry is a delivery man. He has 7 parcels to deliver. The mean weight of the 7 parcels is this. If he delivers 3 parcels, the mean is this. Okay, guys, this is a combined mean question. These I always find quite tricky. But let's start with the total. So the total, he has 7 parcels. So the total weight is going to be 7 times 2.7 because the mean is 2.7. So I just multiply the mean by 7. I'll get the total weight of all the parcels. So 2.7 times 7 is 18.9. So that's the total. Okay, this I don't know. The 4 parcels, so the other, let's call them the other 4. The other 4, their total is 4 times 3.3. So 4 times 3.3, 3.3 times 4 is 13.2. Okay, so that means the 3 parcels, let's call them the 3. The 3 parcels must weigh 18.9, the total, minus the weight of the other 4, if that makes sense. So 18.9 minus 13.2, that's 5.7. You can use your calculator, obviously. And then the mean, we want to find out each of these 3 parcels has a weight of W. Okay, so W is essentially the mean of these 3. So W is just equal to the total of the 3, which is 5.7, divided by 3 to get the mean. 5.7 divided by 3, 5.7 divided by 3 is 1.9. So that is just 1.9, and that's correct. Okay, let me know if that doesn't make sense, guys. 1.9. Okay, 13. About the ages in years of 80 people in a train carriage. Okay, so these are the ages, these are the frequency. We first need to do the cumulative frequency, guys. So this is only 1 mark, but it's easy. So 0 to 20 is 7. And then we just add on each time. So 7 plus 25 is 32, because from 0 to 30 is 32, because it includes all of these. Similarly, from 0 to 40 will include these 20, so that's 52. 0 to 50 will include the 14, so that's 66. Add the 8, that's 74, and then we get to 80. Okay, that is part A. Part B, it says on the grid opposite, which is down here, draw the cumulative frequency graph. Okay, so we need to put in these points. Now the points are the end of this, so 20, and the cumulative frequency is 7. So I go to 20 and 7, which is here. Then I go to 30 and 32, 40 and 52. So 30 is 32 and 40 is 52. Then 50, 66. 50 is 66, which is here. And then I do 74 and 80. So 60 is 74, which is there. And then 70 is 80, which is right at the end there. Okay, now it starts at 0, guys, here. So we start our graph at 0. And basically we need to draw a nice curve that joins these up nicely. Now, guys, I always say I find these very difficult to do with my tablet, but you can do it better than I am doing it. So it has to go through this, through this, this, and then this. Okay, so that's kind of okay, but as I say, guys, you can do it more accurately than me. Okay, so that's the cumulative frequency curve. And make sure the points are quite clear, because that's the main place where you get your marks for drawing this. It's that it goes through the points that you've drawn. Okay, then it says use your graph to find an estimate for the median age. So the median, we go to half of 80, we half 80 to 40, we go across to here, and then down, and that, wherever this lands, is what we're going to call our median. This is 31, 32, 33, so I can go with 33 or 33.5. Let's just call it 33.5. The mark scheme accepts anything between 32 and 34, so I was pretty close. Okay, so that is 33.5, and let me actually, guys, really, because it's age in years, the median should be a whole number, so I'll stick with 33. Then it says, of the people in the training carriage, 60% of those who are aged between 18 and 65 are going to work. None of the other people are going to work. Use your graph to find an estimate for the number of people in the train carriage who are going to work. Okay, right, so I need to find this between 18 and 65. So let's do that. We'll go to 18. 18 is like here. Okay, let's say that's 5. And 65, I'll go to here. This is 65. I'll go up. That one's pretty much on the line of, let's call that 77. So I'm going to do 77 minus 5 to give me the total number of people. So 77 minus 5 is 72. Okay, so there's 72 people between 18 and 65. It says 60% of these are going to work. None of the other people in the train carriage are going to work. Use your graph to estimate the number of people who are going to work. Okay, so I essentially need to find 60% of this, and that will give me the answer. Okay, so I'll do 72 times 0.6. That's the quickest way to get 60%. So it's 72 times 0.6, which is 43.2. This is 43.2. He says an estimate for the number of people. You can't have 43.2 people, guys, so just be careful. It's not, this isn't the mean. The mean can be a decimal, but if we're estimating the number of people, you can't put 43.2. You have to put 43. Now again, the mark scheme accepts anything 42, 43, or 44, so there's a bit of leniency depending on your graph, but anyway, that's how you do it. Okay, question 14. Expand this and simplify. So we can do whichever order we want. First, I'm going to do the 2x plus 3. I'll do the 2x plus 3 times the x plus 4 first. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 4 is plus 8x. 3 times x is plus 3x, and 3 times 4 is plus 12. This gives me 2x squared plus 11x plus 12. Okay, so that's those two, but now I need to multiply by the 5 minus x. So I'll do 5 minus x in a bracket times this, 2x squared plus 11x plus 12. Now I essentially, guys, do like here, I do this times this, first times the first, first times the second, second times the first, second times the second. Here I'm going to do first times the first, first times the second, first times the third, and second times the first, second times the second, second times the third. Okay, 5 times this is 10x squared. 5 times this is plus 55x. 5 times this is plus 60. Then minus, be careful, so it's minus 2x cubed, minus 11x squared, and minus 12x. Collect the like terms. So I have a minus 2x cubed, minus 2x cubed. I have 10x squared minus 11x squared, which is minus x squared. I have 55x minus 12x, which is plus 43x. And then I have a plus 60 at the end. And that's it, 3 marks. Okay, part B. Make C the subject of the formula. Okay, guys, this one, how many marks? 4 marks. This question is kind of tricky. So 2 ways to do it. You could multiply the 7 across first, or you could multiply everything, or sorry, add the 7 across, or you could multiply by this first, but you have to multiply everything. I'm going to add the 7 first because I think it's the more natural way to do it. So I add the 7 and I get C plus 3 over 4 plus C. Now, I'm trying to make C the subject. I've got C in the denominator here. I have to get C out of the denominator. How do I do it? I multiply across. Now just be very careful with this step, guys. It's G plus 7 brackets 4 plus C. You have to put, it's because it's all of this times all of this. And this is equal to C plus 3. Now I'm going to expand these double brackets. G times 4 is 4G. G times C is plus GC. 7 times 4 is 28. And 7 times C is plus 7C. That's the left-hand side. The right-hand side is just C plus 3. Okay, now, because I want C to make C the subject, I'm going to leave all the C's, any term with C in it, on the left. So I have GC plus 7C minus 1C. And this is equal to anything on the right that, anything that doesn't have a C in it, I'm going to put on the right. So I'm going to have my 3 is here, and I'm going to subtract the 4G, so it's 3 minus 4G, and I'm going to subtract 28. So it's minus 28. Okay, now I'll just tidy this up a little bit. I have GC, 7C minus 1C is 6C, so it's GC plus 6C equals 3 minus 28 is minus 25, minus 25 minus 4G. Then I take out the C, factorize out C. G plus 6 is equal to minus 25 minus 4G. And finally, to get C on its own, I divide. So it's minus 25 minus 4G all over G plus 6. G plus 6. And that, guys, is the right answer. Okay, that is question 14. Question 15, right? Another challenging algebraic fractions, or just algebra question. So solve this. Okay, number of ways to do it, guys. My preferred method is, I'm always saying, if you want to get rid of a denominator, which we do, multiply across by the denominator. So I'm going to multiply everything by 3, but I also have a 2, so I want to multiply everything by 2 as well. So instead of multiplying everything by 3 and everything by 2 separately, we'll just do 1 multiply across by 6. So it's 6 times 4x plus 5, 6, because that's the same as multiplying by 3 and multiplying by 2. And you'll see now why I chose this. So it's minus 6 times this, don't forget your brackets. And then finally, guys, we have to do 6 times 13. And 6 times 13 is 78. use your calculator if you need to. Now watch. 3 into 3 goes once, 3 into 6 goes twice, 2 into 2 goes once, and 2 into 6 goes 3 times. So now my denominator has gone, disappeared. So it's 2 times 4x plus 5 minus 3 times 3 minus 2x equals 78. Multiply out, 2 times 4x is 8x plus 10 minus 9 minus 3 times 3 minus 3 times minus 2x is plus, be careful, 6x is equal to 78. Add the x's, 14x. 10 minus 9 is 1, so I'm going to do 78. 78 minus 1 is 77. And then x is 77 divided by 14. Let's just do that, guys, with the calculator. 77 divided by 14 is 5.5, which is correct. Okay, that's question, well, that's part A. Part B, solve the inequality. Show you're working clearly. Okay, guys, so on my calculator, I can solve this, and I'm going to solve it with the calculator first. Now, be aware if we do this. So sorry, let me do that again. I do menu. I go to inequality here, which is B. Then I do degree 2 because it's a quadratic, and I'm going to do less than or equal to 0, which is the fourth one here. Then I put in 2 minus 7 minus 30. Oops. 2 minus 7 minus 30. Press enter, and I get the answer. So x is bigger or equal to minus 5 over 2. Bigger or equal to minus 5 over 2, and less than or equal to 6. So this, I'm sorry, it's y, guys, be careful, not x, y. And yes, it is important, guys, you write down y. Okay, so you would get no, that's the correct answer, but to be clear, you get no marks for that. So you need to factorize this. So I'm going to factorize this by saying, and you can use this, guys, to help you with the factors, but the factors are, well, the way I like to do it is I do a times c is equal to 2 times minus 30, which is minus 60. And I basically need to find the factors of minus 60 that gives me minus 7. Now, I know straight away, guys, it's minus 12 and 5, because minus 12 plus 5 gives me the minus 7. Okay, so then I write down 2y squared minus 12y plus 5y minus 30 is less than or equal to 0. Then I take out the 2y here, 2y into y minus 6, because if I take out 2y, I have a y left here, and I have a 6 left here. And then I'm going to take out the 5, and I get y minus 6. And then these two are the same, so I'm left with 2y plus 5 times y minus 6 less than or equal to 0. And then you can just write down the answer. You can just go y is greater or equal to minus 5 over 2 and less than or equal to 6. And if you really want to understand why that's the case, which you should, you can draw the graph, and the graph has zeros at minus 2.5 or minus 5 over 2 and 6, which is over here somewhere. This is 6, and if we draw the quadratic, that looks something like this. Now, guys, obviously this doesn't have to be perfect, but it looks something like this. Oh yeah, I forgot my computer will make it pretty perfect. Okay, something like that. then where is this thing less than 0? Well, it's less than 0 here, between -5/2 and 6. If it was greater or equal to 0, then you do less than -5/2 and greater than 6. Anyway, you don't actually have to draw the graph to get the full marks, but you do need to factorize. Okay, question 16. 100 farmers are asked if they have goats, sheep, or chickens. Okay, here we have a bunch of information. Use to complete the Venn diagram. Okay, now common mistake, guys, is people go, right, 31 sheep, let's put 31 here. That is wrong, because the 31 includes this, this, and this. So we can't put 31 in at all yet. 53 chickens, we can't put that in. 6 of goats, sheep, and chickens, right? This I can put in, I can put it here. 6 in the middle, because these 6 people have all 3. Okay, 11 have sheep and goats. Okay, sheep and goats, that includes this and this. But I already have 6 here, so this must be 5. Now my 6 plus 5 gives me this 11. Okay, so this is done. This is done here, and this is done. 17 have sheep and chickens, right? 17 have that's sheep and chickens here. So this has to be 11. This one's done. 18 have goats and chickens. So this has to be 12, because 12 plus 6 gives me 18. 20 do not have any goats, sheep, or chickens, right? So 20 goes outside. And then now I can use my 31 sheep. So 31, this has to be 9, because 9 plus 5 is 14, plus 6 is 20, plus 11 is 31. 53 have chickens, so this has to be, these all have to add up to 53. So that will give me 18, 28, 29 to 53 gives me 24. And then finally, so now I've done this, now I've done this, and I've done this. The only thing I haven't used is the 100 farmers. So I just need to add all these up, subtract from 100, and I get my answer. Let's just do it quickly. 44, 54, 56, 62, 73, 82, 87, 13 left. Okay, that's it, guys. That's part A only. Part B, NG, that's the number, that is the number of elements in, it is the number of elements in G. So G is goats, that is all of this here. Okay, so we just need to add these up. 13 plus 12 is 25, plus 11 is 36. Okay, this is 36. The number in G union S complement, so that's not G union S. So, okay, I'm going to do G union S. That includes all of these. That includes this, 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 and this. This is G union S, but it's not that. So instead of these numbers, it has to be the other numbers. So it's 24 and 20, which is 44. It's just this one and this one. So it's 44. Okay, not G and C. Okay, so this is, let me just write it here, guys. It's not G and in C. Okay, so what is not in G and also in C? Well, this is not in G and it's in C, and this is not in G and it's in C. So it's just 24 plus 11, which is 33. Sorry, 35. One of the farmers who has chickens is chosen at random. Find the probability that this farmer also has goats. Right, so this is the probability, this is a tricky one, guys. The probability that he has a, I want the probability that he has a goat given, so this is fancy notation, guys. This means given that he has goat, given that he has a chicken. Okay, now when we say given that he has a chicken, that means I'm only choosing from these people. So I'm only choosing from, let me get rid of this. Hang on, 11 and 24. 11 and 24. Okay, so I'm only choosing from these people because these are the ones that have a chicken. So it's out of the number of farmers that have chickens is 53. So it's out of 53. The answer is something out of 53. Now, of those 53 people, how many have a goat? Well, it's the 12 and the 6, these. So it's going to be 18 out of these, out of the 53 that have a goat. So that's the answer. Okay, 17. M varies directly as the cube of h. Okay, this is a fairly normal one, guys. I just write down m is equal to k times h cubed. Now, when I say it's I mean it's a normal direct and inverse proportion question. So directly means equals k times this, and it's the cube of h, so it's h cubed. Then I need to find k by subbing in these numbers. So m is 4, k I don't know, and h is 0.5, so it's 0.5 cubed. 4 is equal to 0.5 cubed, guys, is actually an eighth. Or you could just do k is equal to 4 divided by 0.5 cubed, and then k is equal to, it's actually going to be 32, guys, because it's times 8, but let me show you. So it's 4 divided by 0.5 cubed, which is 32. Okay, so k is 32. And now I go back to this and I say, right, m is equal to 32 times h cubed, because it's k times h cubed and k is 32. And we need to find h when m is 500. Okay, so 500 equals 32 times h cubed. H cubed is 500 divided by 32. What's 500 divided by 32? 125 over 8. So h cubed is 125 over 8. And this, guys, is a very nice number because the cubed root, I'm going to get the cubed root of 125 over 8. The cubed root of 125 is 5, and the cubed root of 8 is 2. So the answer is 5 over 2, or 2.5. Question 18. X is this. A, B, and F have been rounded. Fine. Work out an upper bound for X. Right. So, guys, you may be used to how I do these now. I want the upper bound for X. So I want to make X big. And to make X big, I need to make A big, because I have, well, if I want to make X big, I want to make this first thing big. I then want to subtract a small number, because if you want to make a big number, you want to then subtract a small number. And you want to divide by a small number. Remember, to make a number big, you divide by a small number. If you divide by a big number, you make the number smaller. Okay, so that's the first step. Then I'm going to do this for all my 3 variables, my A, B, and F. So for A, this is A, this is B, and this is F. Okay, A is 7.5 to 1 decimal place, so I'm going to go up to the next decimal place, is 7.6, and down to the previous decimal place, 7.4. B is 2 decimal places, so I'm going to go 3.42, and I'm going to go up to 3.43 and down to 3.41. And finally, F is 2. I'm going to go up to 3 and down to 1. Then I I want a big, so I'm going to go to the upper bound of a, which is here, halfway between these two. It's 7.55. I want to make b small, so I'm going to go to the lower bound, halfway between these two. That's 3.415. And I want to make f small, so I go halfway between these two, which is 1.5. Then I sub in x, lower bound, let's call it lower bound, sorry, upper bound for x is equal to 2 times 7.55, 2 times this, a, minus b, which is this, 3.415, and divide by f, which is this 1.5. Put this into your calculator, and I get 2 times 7.55 minus 3.415 divided by 1.5, and I get 7.79, which is correct. So this is 7.79. Okay. Next question, 19. A is this, x is this. Express A in this form where P, Q, and S are integers. Right, guys, more algebra. If you're not really good at algebra, this paper was difficult, guys, but we have A, we want to get A in this form. So basically, we don't want any x's, so we're going to sub this in instead of x. So A is equal to, let's do that substitution first. It's 14 over 3 times, now instead of x, this guy, I'm putting this, because this is x. So it's 7 over 4y minus 3, close brackets, that's my 3x, and I still have a minus 7. Okay, now that, guys, is obviously not a very nice looking fraction. Now what I think I'm going to do is, over at the side, I'm going to simplify this thing here. Let's do it over here. I'm going to say this guy, let's just call it denominator. Now you could do it in one, you could do it all here, guys, but I just think it's going to be a bit neater. The denominator is, let's do 3 times 7 is 21. So it's 21 over 4y minus 3 minus 7. Now I'm going to do a common denominator. I'm just looking at this part, so forget the 14 for a second. I'm going to do 4y minus 3 is my common denominator. And I'm going to do 21. And I have to do 7 times 4y minus 3. That is because, well, common denominator, if I'm putting it over 4y minus 3, I'm essentially multiplying the bottom by 4y minus 3, so I have to multiply the top by 4 minus 3. So this is just adding fractions. Not easy, but that's what I've done. And then multiply this out, 21 minus 28y plus 21 over this, which is actually 42. 42 minus 28y all over 4y minus 3. Okay, now that means that this is equal to 14 over, and I have a big fraction sign here, guys, it's 14 divided by 42 minus 28y over 4y minus 3. So it's 14 divided by that. Okay, now, if you recall, guys, how to divide fractions, and you can think of this 14, if you want, as 14 over 1. So it's 14 over 1 divided by this. So to divide fractions, we keep the first one, we change it to multiply, and we flip this one upside down. So this becomes 4y minus 3 over 42 minus 28y, like this. Okay, now, nearly done. This is a bracket here. So, what I can see nicely, guys, and fair enough if we don't all see it, but 14 goes into 42 and 14 goes into 28. If you didn't see the 14, you might know that 7 goes into 14 and 7 goes into these two. And then you can do your times tables. So we can write this as 14 times, I'm just going to put a bracket, 4y minus 3 over, and I'm going to call this 14 times 3 minus 2y, because 14 times 3 is 42, 14 times 2y is 28. And now look nicely, these 14s cancel. And I'm just left with, this. So I'm left with 4y minus 3 over 3 minus 2y, but he wants it in this form, so I'm going to call it minus 2y plus 3. And that's it. So it's a bit like P is 4, Q is minus 3, R is minus 2, and S is positive 3. Okay, that, guys, was obviously very difficult, but that is A. Okay, question 20. Diagram. The diagram shows 4 identical circles drawn inside a square. The circles touch, fine. The region inside the square that is outside the circles is shown has a total of 40 centimeters squared. Where are the perimeter of the square? Okay, tricky, guys. This is a tricky question. Right, I am going to call the radius of the circle R. Now, if that radius is R, if you think about it, we have a radius R plus R plus R plus R, that's 4R, so the length of the square is actually 4R, as is the height, or the width of the square. So this is R plus R plus R plus R, and it's the same this way. Okay, we know that the area of the shaded region is 40. So the goal is to find R. Let's find R. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to do the area of a circle first. So the area of a circle is equal to pi r squared. So the area of 4 circles is 4 pi r squared. So the shaded region, the shaded area is actually equal to the area of the square, which is 4r times 4r, which is 4r squared. That's the area of the square, minus 4 of the circles, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because if I take out 4 circles, I'll be left with the shaded area. So 4r squared minus 4 of these, 4 pi r squared, is equal to 40. Okay, now 4r all squared is 16r squared, so that's 16r squared minus 4 pi r squared is equal to 40. I'm going to take out the r squared because I'm trying to find r. So I take out the r squared, I'm left with 16 minus 4 pi equals 40. This is like a changing the subject question, guys. R squared is equal to 40 over 16 minus 4 pi, and then r is equal to the square root of this. Let's just do that, guys. It's the square root of 40 over 16 minus 4 pi 4 pi is this. 3.4131. 3.4131. So that is the radius. The perimeter of the square is then equal to, it's 4r plus 4r plus 4r plus 4r, which is actually equal to 16r. Perimeter P is equal to 16r, because guys, it's 4 of these, 4r plus 4r plus 4r, which is 16r. It's not multiplied, we're adding them. So the perimeter is 14r. I now know what r is. It's 16 times 3.4131, and this should give me, this times 16 is 54.610. 54.61. He wants it to 3 significant figures, so let's go 54.6, and it is in, or should be in centimeters. It is 54.6 centimeters. Okay, question 21. OAB is a triangle. Q is the point such that this is a straight line. Okay. OA is 4A, this is 6B, and AP, okay, this is important, AP is 2A plus 6B, right? I'm gonna add that one in, guys. AP is 2A plus 8B. Using a vector method, find the ratio of AQ to QB. Okay, so AQ to QB. What I want, guys, is to find, I'm going to find OQ using 2 different methods. Now, OQ is some fraction of OP. Let's say, well, let's write that. OQ is equal to some fraction of OP. I don't know what it is. Let's call it lambda. If you're used to these vector questions, guys, you'll be used to me using the letters lambda and mu. Okay, but I'm saying it's some fraction. I don't know, like maybe it's a half, a third. We don't know. It's some fraction, but if I find lambda, that's gonna help me. Now, I'm gonna go in 2 different, I'm gonna go from O to Q in 2 different methods. Firstly is this one. It's lambda times OP, but I know, I should have put an arrow there, guys. I know that OP is 4A plus 2A plus 8B. 4A plus 2A plus 8B, which is equal to lambda times 6A plus 8B. Or 6 lambda A plus 8 lambda B. Okay, that's the first OQ. The second OQ I'm going to do is I'm going to go O to A and A to Q. So let's do that. I'm going to go OQ is equal to OA plus, again, some fraction of this AB. Let's call it mu. Mu times AB. I don't know what that fraction is, but if I find it, I'll be able to find this ratio. Okay, so I can say OA is 4A, and I do know, well, I'll find out AB in a second. AB, I'll write it here, AB is going to be minus 4A plus 6B. So it's minus 4A plus 6B, because I'm going against the arrow here, minus 4A plus 6B with the arrow there. So this becomes minus 4A plus 6B. And then if I multiply all this out, I get 4A plus, well, minus 4 mu A, multiplying these out, plus 6 mu B. And this is equal to, well, if I get the A components together, it's 4 minus 4 mu A. That's just kind of like factorizing the A, plus 6 mu B. Okay, now my goal is to find mu. And the way I'm going to find it is by equating these two things, because I've got OQ here and I've got OQ here. And so that means the A component, this thing, this 6 lambda, because it's 6 lambda A, has to equal the A component over here. So that 6 lambda A equals 4 minus 4 mu. And similarly, my 8 lambda here has to equal this 6 mu. Okay, so I have two simultaneous equations. I can find lambda and mu. First one is, let's use the green one, guys, because that looks a bit more easy. I'm going to say 8 lambda equals 6 mu. Let's find lambda. Lambda is then 3/4 mu, because if I divide 6 by 8, I get 3/4. And then this one, 6 lambda is equal to this yellow component, 4 minus 4 mu. Now I know lambda because I'm trying to get mu, guys. I know lambda in terms of mu, it's 3/4 mu. So I'm going to say 6 times 3/4 mu. Just subbing in mu for proper mu, guys. Subbing in mu for lambda. That's 4 minus 4 mu. I don't know why I can't draw mu today. Then I get 6 times 3 divided by 4. This is 9/2 mu. So that is, well, let's keep it as 9/2. That's 9/2 mu. I'm going to plus the 4 mu, which is 8/2 mu. This is equal to 4. I'm then going to, let's multiply everything by 2. So 9 mu plus 8 mu equals 8. And then let's move down here. 17 mu equals 8. Mu is equal to 8/17. Now, just be careful, guys. That means, if you recall, I said mu was the fraction of AB that brings me to Q. So that means this is 8/17, because mu is 8/17. So this is 8/17 of the full length, which means this is 9/17 of the full length, because the full length will be 17/17. So the ratio of AQ to QB is 8:9. Now, guys, obviously that is super hard. Those vector questions are really, really difficult, but that is question 21. Okay, question 22. ABCD is a kite with diagonals AC and BD drawn on a grid. Okay, A has this coordinates, the diagonals meet at M, which is this coordinate. Okay, so I'm going to start by drawing a kite, right? So I'm going to draw a kite like this. Now I'm deliberately, guys, drawing it kind of like at an angle, just so we don't make the mistake of thinking in relation to a grid. So it's just a kite in some place, and the points are, well, this is A, B, C, D. I know it's A, B, C, D because you have to go in order. So you have to go A, B, C, D. I could have gone A, B, C, D, and I'm starting here because this here he says A, B, and A, D are 6.5. So this is 6.5, and this is 6.5. And this A coordinate is -3, this is -3, 4. Okay, now one thing about a kite, guys, is, and almost definitely important in this question, is that the diagonals meet at right angles. That's one of the properties of a kite. And these two sides are exactly the same, and so are these two. Okay, now we know M, the coordinate M here, has coordinates 0, 2. So let's just put 0, 2, like this. Okay, now we need to find B and D. Now B and D, guys, I'm going to call them X, Y. And D is some other X, Y. Let's just, well, I'm going to call this X, Y as well. Or let's call this X1, X1, Y1 for now. It's a comma. Okay, so this is XY and this is some XY, and we don't know what they are. Okay, now we do know that this is a right angle here. These meet at right angles. Now, there's the fact that he's given us this length here makes me think about Pythagoras' theorem, because this is a right angle triangle. I can find this length using these 2 points. And it also makes me think of gradient of a line, because I know this line will have a gradient perpendicular to this line. Okay, so let's start with the first thing I said, which is finding the length AM. So the length AM, or the magnitude of AM, is equal to the square root of, this is a distance between 2 points formula that you need to know. It's x2 minus x1 squared, so it's 0 minus 3, 0 minus 3 squared, plus 2 minus 4 squared. And this is equal to 3 squared is 9, 2 squared is 4, root 13. So I'm just going to put that is root 13, and I'm going to put it here. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the gradient of AM. So the gradient, and I'm going to call it M, M, A, M, like that. That is the little m for gradient of the line AM. So this is y2 minus y1, 2 minus 4, over x2 minus x1, 0 plus 3, be careful because it's 0, minus 3, which is minus 2 over 3. Now, if the gradient of AM is minus 2 over 3, the gradient of BM, we're going to find B first, guys. BM, or we might actually find them simultaneously at the same time. So M of BM, this one, has to equal 3 over 2, because it's the perpendicular gradient, so I flip and change the sign. Okay, now that means, so I don't have x, or I don't have y. Let's just focus on b here for a second. So I can say y2 minus y1, so that would be y minus 2, that's this minus this, over x minus 0, or just over x, has to equal 3 over 2. Which means, cross multiply, 2y minus 4, that's 2 times all of this, equals 3x. Okay, so that is one equation. Fine. My next equation is this Pythagoras thing that I said I was going to do. Let's get the length BM. Now the length BM is going to be the square root. Again, it's the distance between 2 points. Let me try that again. It is the distance between 2 points, and it's x minus 0 squared, x minus 0 squared, plus y minus 2 squared. Okay, and this is equal to just the square root of x squared plus y minus 2 squared. Okay, now we know that this squared from Pythagoras' theorem, and guys, I'm well aware this is really, really difficult. We know though that bm squared, this squared, plus, so that's this squared, plus this squared, so plus root 13 squared, which is just going to be 13, has to equal 6.5 squared. Now, bm squared, because this is bm, is just going to equal x squared plus y minus 2 squared. And because when I square it, it gets rid of the square root. And root 13 squared equals 13. And 6.5 squared, well, 6.5 squared equals 6.5 squared, which is 42.25. 42.25. Okay, so now guys, and I'm gonna be wrong, as I say, this is difficult, but now at least I have two equations. I have my linear one and I have my non-linear one. So this question has now become a simultaneous equations question where one of the equations is non-linear. So it's a difficult question without any of the kite. Or if you were just given this and this, it's a difficult question. But the fact that you're given a kite and everything else means it's like a really hard question. And it is 7 marks, and it is question 22. Okay, so I'm going to go to here, and we're just going to solve this. So a few ways to do it. I could get x in terms of y. Let's actually do that. So x, and it's not even a nice easy one, guys. So I could say, well, if I wanted to be really clever, I could do y minus 2 is 3 over 2x and sub that in here. Yeah, I think, guys, I like that. So at this point, let's go down. Let's do this. I'm going to go here. I'm going to say y minus 2 equals 3x over 2. So I just multiply across. And that way, instead of y minus 2, I can sub in 3x over 2. So it's 3x over 2 squared. And this equals, I'm going to do 42.25 minus 13. 42.25 minus 13, guys, I should be able to do that in my head, but I'm running out of brain power. 29.25. 29.25. Okay, this is x squared plus 9 over 4 x squared, because 3 squared is 9, 2 squared is 4, and x squared is x squared. Okay, this is getting somewhere. This is like, guys, 4 over 4x squared plus 9 over 4x squared, that's common denominators, equals 13 over 4x squared. This is 29.25. Multiply across by 4 and divide across by 13. So this is going to be 29.25. I'm going to times by 4, and I'm going to divide by 13, and I get 9. Okay, that's actually a very nice number. X squared is equal to 9, which means x is plus or minus 3. Now, guys, when we get two x's, and this is the nice thing about this, is I get my b coordinate and my d coordinate, and he says the x coordinate of b is positive. So the x coordinate of b is going to be 3, and the x coordinate of d is going to be negative 3. Okay, once I have my x, I can get my y by subbing it in here. So let's just change the color, guys. I'm going to say y is equal to, from this, 3x over 2 plus 2, because I'm adding on the 2. So when x is plus 3, So at, something's gone wrong with my pen, guys, at +3, or let's do at x equals 3, y is equal to 3 times 3 times 3 over 2 plus 2, which is 9 over 2 plus 4 over 2, which is 13 over 2. You can do that on your calculator, or 6.5. And at x equal -3, y is equal to 3 times -3 over 2 plus 2, which is -9 over 4 plus 4, sorry, -9 over 2 plus 4 over 2, which is -5 over 2. So that means my coordinates are 3, 6.5, because this is 6.5, 3, 6.5, and -3, -2.5. So I have 3, 6.5, that is B, and -3, -2.5. Okay, so guys, as I said, super duper hard question. Okay, 23. The diagram shows the sketch of this. Find the coordinates of point A. Okay, so a regular cosine graph, guys. We need to know what the regular cosine graph looks like. So the regular cosine graph looks like, let me do that again. The regular cosine graph goes from 1 to -1, and it goes down here at 90. So this is 90. Here 180. Here 270. And here 360. So it goes down through 90, turns at 180, up through 270, and then back up to 360. Now, what does the x over 2 do? Well, the x over 2 means we multiply the x coordinate by 2, because really we're multiplying by 1 over 2. So we actually multiply by 2, which is 90 times 2, which is 180. So this becomes 180, 0. So what happens is this 90, this was originally our A here. This would be the A for y equals cos x. So this is just y equals cos x. And when we multiply this coordinate by 2, we get 180. So this has to be 180. Then it says find the coordinates for point B. Okay, so B, this coordinate here would have been right there. This would be 180 comma -1. So again, we're multiplying the x coordinate by 2, so we just get 180 times 2. 180 times 2 is equal to 360. So it's 360. The x coordinate is 360, and the y coordinate stays the same, which is -1. So it's just -1. So this would be 360 comma -1. Okay, 2 marks, guys. That's not easy, but you do need to know what the cosine and sine graphs look like. Finally, this is question 24, last question. Okay, we have something that looks pretty horrible. We have a page to do it. It's only worth 3 marks, unfortunately. Definitely, I'm thinking prime factors. I'm thinking get all this in terms of 2s and 3s. So let's work with this first. So instead of 18, I'm going to do 9 times 2, or 3 squared times 2. That's the prime factors of 18. And I'm going to say this is multiplied by 27 is actually 3 cubed. So I'm turning 27 into 3 cubed, but it's the square root of 27. The square root of 27 means I do to the power of a half. So the square root as a power is the power of a half. So 27 is 3 cubed, the square root is the power of a half. And I have this 4n plus 6. So I'm just going to multiply by 4n plus 6 because you multiply the powers. A power to a power, you multiply the powers. And I'm going to ultimately multiply all of these out. Okay, then we're going to divide by 6 is 2 times 3. And 9 is 3 squared. So that just becomes 3 squared times 2n plus 8 equals 3 to the power of x. Okay, now I'm going to cross multiply, guys. I'm going to multiply this by this. So I'm going to have 3 squared times 2 times, I'm going to multiply all these out. So I'm going to get 3 to the power of 3 over 2 times 4, which is 6. So it's 3 to the power of 6n. 3 to the power of 6n, and then 3 over 2 times 6 is 9. So 6n plus 9. So that's me, guys, just multiplying all these numbers out. So I get 3 to the power of 6n plus 9. This is equal to 3 to the power of x, and I'm going to multiply across by this. So it's 3 to the power of x times 2 times 3 times 3 to the power of, multiply the powers, 4n plus 16. Okay, now I can divide both sides by 2. So the 2's are gone, which is nice. Divide both sides by 2. And then let's just get all these powers together. So this is 3 to the power of, I add the powers when I multiply two numbers with the same base. So this is going to be 2 plus 6n plus 9. And similarly here, I'm going to add the powers. This is 3 to the power of x plus 1. There's a 1 there if you like. X plus 1 plus 4n plus 16. And now, if I have 3 to this power equals 3 to this power, then the powers have to be the same. Otherwise, it wouldn't be equal. So I can just say this equals this. 2 plus 9 is 11. So 11 plus 6n. 11 plus 6n equals x plus 4n plus 17. 1 plus 16 is 17. I'm trying to get x in terms of n. So let's just leave x over here. I'm going to do 6n minus 4n is 2n. And I'm going to do 11 minus 17 is minus 6. So I get x equals 2n minus 6. So actually it wasn't as bad as I thought. It was obviously bad. It's obviously a difficult question, but it wasn't that bad because the 2's cancelled quite nicely. And there was no quadratic. I thought there might be a quadratic that I had to solve. Okay, that's it, guys. That's 24. That is the final question, and we are done. So I'll see you in the next video.